Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Grab a Cup of Knit and Chat. My name's Maggie. I have a cup of coffee, so we're just going to sit and chat for a little bit. So grab something to drink, a snack, and come on back. Okay. Really, I should say it's more of a mocha and not just a coffee. It is December the 28th, 2025. It's about 4:45 in the evening here in Central Oregon where I'm located. And it is the last Sunday of December. So I've been doing videos this month every Sunday and just talking about what I haven't done really because I got some Advents. I really didn't want to talk about them because of the fact that other people may have them and the way I was working on them would be a little bit weird with those. I do have my Woolens and Nosh. So I have finished object. It's not my only finished object this week, but it's the only one that I have with me. I think I showed the hat that I did last week. I also did another pair of fire pit mitts just out of some yarn that I've had and that kind of stuff. I'm trying to work through my stash. So here is my Woolens and Nosh Advent 2025. I'm not going to show the bag. I've shown it before. Everybody's been showing their bag. So if you haven't finished yours or you haven't reached the 24 colors and you don't want to see it, please look away. But it's after Christmas and now I'm not waiting anymore. So here we go. Isn't that pretty? I did top down. So I did just probably a 10 or a 15 round cuff. I seem to like the smaller cuffs. But I think now, I don't know. This one is like a 15 round cuff. And then I started with this turquoisey blue. I did work them two at a time. This is the mini that came with it. It's also the same color that's in between each color. And then I just did a standard heel flap and turn or heel flap and gusset heel. I think I did that for like maybe 30 or 35 rows. I can't remember. It's about 3 inches. And then I did my heel turn and went down to, I think you can see that I went, the green is the last color and then it starts over with the same blue here. Because I typically do a 65 round foot and then I work my decreases on the toe. It's just a regular wedge decrease to a 14 stitch before I do the Kitchener. Mine is 64 stitch on a US 1 needle, but that is my finished socks. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this Advent again next year. After getting 3 or 4 Advents this year, our special boxes, I felt like I had been influenced a lot, and I can't say that I didn't care for the colors or anything on any of them that I got. They were gorgeous colors. The dyers did amazing. It was lots of yarn that I really didn't need, but there was not, to me, I didn't like it because the colors were entirely too close to one another. I think I would probably prefer it where they were, I think I've done up to like 4 days on several of them because I'm not like working on them every day. I'm just doing what I want to do with my knitting life. And I have to say that the difference from day 1 to day 4 is so subtle. You literally have to lay them right next to each other and just scan across it to see a difference. And that did not float my boat. So I only expect to get one, if possible, two sock advents next year. And that's it. I don't plan on doing anything else. I was not impressed um, with a lot that happened this year advent wise. And I've seen, that's not to say that someone else can't do it. That is my opinion. That's the way I like my yarn. I would like to see more of a difference in everyday's colors, not bright poppy colors, not like opposite ends of the spectrum. But when I open up day 1 and I'm like, oh, this is a gorgeous purple, and then I open up day 2 and I'm like, it looks just like day 1. I mean, exactly like day 1. And I know that there's a lot of fades out there, and I'm not, it just didn't interest me. This was my first year into the advent, and other than the Woolens and Nosh sock advent, and I wasn't impressed, and I won't do it again. So, other than the socks, what have I been working on? Not a whole lot. As I said, I've been doing the fire pit mitts from Taylor Earl. I linked them in my last video. I've looked at several patterns. I have several patterns that I want to do. I talked about Helen Stewart's patterns, and I did start the button box, which is the front. This is the front. This is the button box. It's gonna be square like that if I can hold it right. That's basically what it's gonna be like. So I was saying that I didn't see the difference in the button box throw and the habitation throw. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the habitation throw. But I do now. The button box starts in the very middle. Almost like a Musselburgh hat or Musselboro hat, where you're starting with the tiny circle, and then you're working it out, and then you're making it into a square, which I'm really not giving a whole lot away there, because the picture, did I print the picture out on this one? The picture only shows this, right? So when you look at the button box and the habitation, they look so similar. But when I saw another podcaster doing the button box throw, I could see the square pattern. And after starting this one, I could see that it started in a square. And I'm just using some leftover yarn. I'm not like color coordinating this or anything. And then the habitation, which is this one, actually starts let's see. It kind of starts in the corner. From what I can see, it kind of starts in a corner and works its way around, kind of like a corner to corner. But I'm not quite sure. But I know in the last podcast last week, I had stated that I had gotten both patterns, but I wasn't really sure the difference of them. And that's the difference. One starts in the middle with the little circle and turns into a square. And the other one looks like it starts on a corner and works its way up. So both of them can be timeless throws. I can see myself making multiples of both. I think they're both written for fingering weight, but I can see doing other weights maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. I've been working on my quadrophenia or quadrophilia by K.F. Jones of the Bakery Bears. And it starts with that little tip and works out into like a half triangle, and you make 4 of them and sew them together. And I've been using nothing but scraps for that. And I am finally done 3 of them. So I'm on my 4th triangle for that. And if I remember, if I work on it some more, I will try to show it in the next episode. I don't know how I'm going to do the videos. I kind of like the every Sunday thing, but I just did it this month because, you know, it's December. So we'll see. I may do something on the first episode of January where I talk about my whips and what I'm going to continue with, because I have noticed there's a couple. I picked up a sock whip the other day, and I'm pretty sure I shown it on here, where I had the black cuff with the white ghost in it that I started in October, and then I was using some Halloween colored yarn to make the rest of the leg and the foot, and I didn't like the way it looked. Other people did, but I did not, because it was very wide striped, and I don't think I'm going to continue with those. I think I'm going to redo them because the ghost is a little bit tight, and I do not like that wide stripe against that black cuff. I think a wide stripe like that would be really good for like a whole sock, but not with a different colored cuff the way that I did it. Okay, what else am I working on? So you would have seen this cute little Christmassy bag. The Le Mercier sock set swap came, and I showed you the sock yarn, which is this right here. It's Woolens and Nosh percolated in a Targhee fingering. I love my Woolens and Nosh sock yarn. I think it's pretty. I did split it into 2 cakes. These are 50-gram cakes. This is the one that I rewound, so that's why this one looks so awful. And I also have a 142 caramel Malabrigo Ultimate Sock Mini that I'm doing the heels, toes, and cuffs out of. Hopefully I can do the heels, toes, and cuffs out of them. This is what I have. I'm doing these. Oh, I am all tangled. Hang on. I'm doing these in tandem on 9-inch circulars. So I set and cast them both on Thursday night. Not Thursday, Friday. No, I did. I cast them on Thursday. These are my Christmas Day cast on. And I haven't worked on them a whole lot. These are the little stoppers that I got with it. And this is one of the little progress keepers I'm using as a beginning of the round. I've done 11, 12 rows. This marks 10 rows on that one. And about the same on this one. And like I was saying, I've been doing like 15 round cuffs. Again, this is a US 1 9-inch circular 64 stitch sock that I've started. And I'm doing a 3x1 rib. Am I doing 64? I'm not doing 64. I'm doing a 68 stitch, right? Let's see. And of course, I can't count right now, but yes, it's a 68 stitch. So I went up a few stitches because I wanted to see the difference, because these are Woolens and Nosh fingering on Targhee, and this is Woolens and Nosh fingering on Targhee, and sometimes these can be a little bit tight, so I went up to, and this is a 64, so I went up to 68 on this one. I just wanted to see what the fit was like. But that's all I'm doing. I cast those on. I'm doing them in tandem. I'll probably do 15 rounds for the cuff like I've done every other time. I don't know what I'm going to do there. I am thinking that I will continue once I go into the main color. I want to kind of get them right around the same spot on the colors. And I think I had that picked out, but I may not. I think it's going to be starting from the middle on this one and the outside on this one, and starting with this brown. That's why I had them out like that, because I had pulled them to be right around the same spot. See where the light color is on the tip? That's where I cut them where they were kind of equal so that I could start on that color, and I found that color. So that I don't care that they're not matchy. I just kind of want them close to one another. So that's one whip, and it's just so cute. That's just the perfect little sock bag, and it's small enough I can just throw it in my purse. I took it with me yesterday when I went into Portland, and it was kind of nice. What else do I have? I have not written those, excuse me, I have not written those down. I haven't even written down my button box. And I'm getting really bad about not writing down things. I picked up a skein of yarn yesterday and just started crocheting like a stroller blanket, just half double crochet, chain 72 or 62, and then half double crochet in each one, back and forth, and I haven't written it down, and that's just a quick thing. And I'm using some worsted yarn that I had, Lion Brand Heartland yarn for that. But the thing that I have been working on the most here in the last couple of days is I just picked up a whip that I have, and it's called the Audrey Top. I do not have a picture. Oh, yes, I do. Kind of. It's by Sorry Norland. These are black and white pictures, but that's the Audrey Top. I started it, gosh, back August, because this yarn came from Flock Fiber Festival from Les Garçons, and it is called Montreal. And I had 2 skeins of it. And honestly, I don't know. I am down to, I've done the back, and now I'm doing the armhole shaping. And this is the largest size, right? Look at this. I know it's going to stretch, and I know normally you want negative ease on these things, but not for me. I am too, I mean, Sorry Norland's not exactly the smallest busted person either. But this finished bust size is supposed to be for a size 63, a 63-inch bust. And this is as wide as it gets in the, this is the underarm right here of the back. And yes, it stretches, but look at it when it stretches. I'm not liking that. I was going along with it, and I thought it looked fine, and then I kind of held it up, and I don't know. I don't think this is the, I don't think this is the yarn. It's just not the yarn. So I mean, after I picked up for the front and started on the front and saw what it was like here as well, I just really don't think that that's going to do it. I do have some, this is more of a fingering weight. This is a fingering weight yarn. And I had cast it on, and I'm working, and I'm like, I don't think it's gonna fit me, right? Don't like the way it's looking, don't like the way it's, I mean, the yarn is gorgeous, but it's like thin. I can see everything on my computer through that. It is not going to look good on a big busted person, not even working it the way it says to work it. And I get to looking at my pattern closer, and it calls for a sport weight yarn. And a sport weight yarn and a fingering yarn, Not exactly the same. So this one's going to get frogged. I, I worked on it all the way up until this morning. I started it back in August when I got back from flock. I was all excited. I was like, this is perfect. I want to do it. And I got the back done, and then I stopped on it, and then I got to looking at it this morning as I was knitting on it. I knit on it all day yesterday. Got all the way up to the arm increases for the front. Did all of that today. And I'm like, this is not going to work. So back to the drawing board there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I love this yarn. I don't know what I'm going to do with it now. But that just kind of burst my bubble. But that's okay. That's why we do things. And I did not continue on because I had that gut feeling that something was not right. I wasn't liking it. It didn't look right. And now I can just move on to something else. I do want to do tank tops and t-shirts and cardigans. But I'm just going to have the right yarn for this. I think that's why it looks so small, is because I'm using a fingering weight and not a sport weight yarn. I do have some blue sport weight that I got from Fiber for the People, and I think it would make a cute tank top. I may cake that up and see if I can do the Audrey top out of it. Because this is just not bringing me joy, and I am not going to do it if it does not bring me joy. I do know that it comes in quite a bit right here, so I shouldn't be too worried about that. But even here, no, that doesn't even go to halfway under my arms. And if I stretch it, I'm not going to be happy with it. So, yeah. Nope. Not doing it. We'll find another yarn. We'll start that one over. See what we get up with from there. But this is something that's not going to be finished. And that's my woes and tribulations. We didn't do a whole lot for the holidays. We sat at home, we watched TV, we didn't have family over. We didn't really do anything. All of the kids had their own thing going on, and that is perfectly fine with me because they have children of their own and they have their own lives. So I really didn't get a whole lot done. I have been really all over the place with everything. I get really excited about doing things, and then I find a hiccup in it, or I get bored with it and I don't do it. And I really need to sit down and focus on one thing at a time for right now. And a lot of that has just been working on a pair of socks, doing fire pit mitts, doing a hat or two, working on that crocheted blanket. I need that dopamine rush of getting some things finished. And I did have a 4-day weekend this weekend because Christmas was on a Thursday. And I will have a 4-day weekend next weekend because New Year's is on a Thursday. And then in 2 weeks, I'll have a 4-day weekend again because of the fact that Martin Luther King Jr. Day is on a Monday, and that'll give me an extra day off. So I have a lot of 4-day weekends, and I wasted my time this weekend working on things on that Audrey top that's not right. And I say I wasted my time. I'm glad that I saw that it was not right before I had finished it, because that is the worst thing. When what I need to be doing is getting all of my yarn stash, putting it on Ravelry, seeing what I have, and working through a lot of this acrylic yarn that I have. Cotton yarn, and what else? There's a lot of sock weight yarn too. There's a lot of Patton's Croy sock yarn that I have, and just kind of getting through it all. I don't have anything against acrylic yarn. I like to use it for baby blankets and donation hats and mitts and stuff like that, because of the fact that not everybody likes the wool yarn that I like. Not everybody has the ability to care for it. And if I'm giving someone something, I want it to be easy to care for, easy to use, and, you know, not rustic yarn when I don't know if they have a wool allergy or like the rustic yarn, or even merino yarn for that matter. But I just need to work through a lot of that. I was gonna do the monthly fiber club from Les Mercier, and I decided I'm not gonna do that. I am gonna do the sock club from Farmer Daughter's Fiber for 2026, because I want to see what their sock yarn is like. And honestly, it's a pretty good price for a sock yarn subscription, because you're paying, I love Yarnable, but with Yarnable you just get the 100 gram skein, and I'm paying about the same for Farmer Daughter's Fiber, and it comes with a mini skein. I don't know. I just want to see the differences. I've never used their yarn other than Spin Cycle, so I just wanted to see what their sock yarn's like. And this coming year, I'm not sure that I will, but I would like to put all of the yarn that I get in 2026 in one container and keep it separate from everything else, and work through all of, some people call it the elder stash, the older stash, whatever, anything that came into the household before January 1st of 2026, or that sock yarn club from Farmer Daughter's Fiber needs to be worked through. Everything else, I can work through it as I go. Like if I see one of those sock sets that I really want to work, I can work through that. But I really want to focus on getting the yarn down and out. I also want to focus on making patterns that I have already purchased on Ravelry, have free download, or that I have in a book this year. And what else? I think that's about it. I don't want to buy notions or needles or bags or anything of that manner for 2026, because I have all of that and more than needed. Um, I don't want to. If I need to, I will, but I don't want to. Let's see, what else is there? That's about it. So I guess I just kind of put out there what my intention is for 2026, what I would like to do. Um, it may not be the fashionable thing or the hot right now patterns that are out there, and I may not get a lot done, but I have a lot of craft room chaos, yarn chaos, and it needs to be tamed a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, I hope you had a good holiday. I hope you had a good 2025. And I hope to see you soon in 2026. And remember, drink all the coffee, smell all the roses, and enjoy each and every day. Bye.